And one thing I forgot, it was that in the book, there's a final lesson that shows the summary. So I just talked about that summary. I'm not going to go into all that, but earlier on, I talked about the translation rules. And then I talked about our methods, which were map, flatMap, foreach, and withFilter that enabled all the capability we just saw. Earlier on, I showed this custom class, which showed the type signatures for each of these. And then as we went through these examples, we implemented all of this code over here. And as I note right here, I cheated a lot when I created the code over here. But again, for our purposes currently, I don't care how this code is implemented. I just wanted to get it working so you can see the successful results down here in these for loops and for expressions. And one thing I forgot to mention is that we want to make a for expression like this easier to read. So that's why I just went through all this. So now when you see a for expression, hopefully you'll never think of it in the same way because now you know that the for expression works because all these other methods are implemented inside of our type. So sequence works down here only because of all these methods that we just implemented. So there's probably two things to say. One is that the for expression is actually syntactic sugar for this type of code here. And what I mean by that is if I went through the process of decompiling code like this right here, if I were to decompile that code, you would see it decompiled into a series of, in this case, it would be flatMap calls, map calls, and then the withFilter call right here. That's the way that code would look if it's decompiled. So a for expression basically is easier for humans to read, but it is just syntactic sugar, and it only works because these other methods are defined in your class. And that leads me to the second point, is that whatever's going on with this code right here with push and pop, you now know that these only work inside of here because they implement methods like these right here. So push is being used as a generator. So we know that it has to have a map method. And if it can be used with multiple generators over here, then you know that it also has to have a flatMap method. And then we can say the same thing about pop as well. It is being used as two generators over here. So we know that it has to have map and flatMap defined. We don't know if it has withFilter defined. We don't know if it has foreach defined, but we can tell by looking at the fact that this is used inside of a for yield loop, which is also known as a for expression, that it has to have map and flatMap defined in these. So while we may not know 100% yet why this code works the way it does, we start to now have these clues about how it's related to map and flatMap. And because this yields a state type in the end, now we have another clue right there. And so what we're going to do next is now follow this trail a little bit more and see where these clues lead to.